Hello and welcome to Sleeper Jazz Guitars. I'm Brian Delaney. These segments are designed to help you become aware of instruments that you might not normally find out in the wide world of guitars that are cool, affordable, and have performance aspects that you may really dig. Today we're going to talk about the Gibson L-4, in particular the 1930s era Gibson L-4. The Gibson L-4 has been built by Gibson as long as the company's been building archtop guitars. It's the longest running model of any production archtop that Gibson's ever built. The first incarnation goes back to the teens in the 20th century. It was a small body, carved top acoustic guitar with a round sound hole and a trapeze pin bridge. From there it evolved into a 16-inch oval sound hole 12 fret guitar, and that guitar is the one that Eddie Lang began to use when he played his early jazz duets with Joe Venuti. He later went on to play a 16-inch F-hole archtop guitar with block inlays called the L-5, and that's the most famous early jazz guitar because Lang played one and made a lot of great music on it. The one we're going to talk about today is the next incarnation of L4. From an oval sound hole 16-inch 12 fret, it evolved into this, which is a round sound hole 16-inch 14 fret guitar. This instrument has some unique features. In particular, it's got a round sound hole, which you don't see on every archtop. Most of them have F-holes. The other thing that's cool about it is it's got reverse parallel bracing. What do I mean by that? It means that the bracing, the parallel tone bars, are actually splayed on either side of the sound hole and they taper underneath the bridge. So they actually run like this, almost like a V pattern. Typically on an F-hole guitar they would run like this in a reverse V pattern. So it lends itself to a very unique sound. This guitar features a carved spruce top, carved maple back, maple sides, and if we can get a shot, we have a nice one-piece mahogany neck. And one of my favorite aspects, a rosewood fretboard. Now, if you're a real aficionado of Gibson archtops, particularly from the 30s, you'd be looking at this guitar and saying, something's not quite right about the inlays. And you'd be correct. An L4 from the 30s should have dot inlays. And this one has split parallelogram inlays. So how did that happen? Well, my theory on that is that at some point in this guitar's life, it probably either needed a neck reset or a neck repair or fingerboard replacement. And the guitar went back to the Gibson factory in the late 40s to mid 50s to get some work. At that point, they popped the original dot inlaid fretboard off and they replaced it with what was the then current L4 configuration, which had the split parallelogram inlays. It also became the same fretboard for the ES-175. So, that aside, these are very versatile instruments. This particular model has a couple things added. It has a foot transducer mounted under the bridge. It's a piezo strip. And floating off this pick guard, a volume control, and an original Kent Armstrong designed Benedetto Pickup, which sounds great. The neat thing about this L4 is it's a very versatile guitar. It's got, because of a round sound hole, a lot of low end and a lot of bark. And I'll show you what I mean. It's got a very authoritative low end Some F-hole guitars just can't keep up with this particular model because they just don't have the low end that the round sound hole imparts. If you're a flat picker, you may really like this guitar as well. It's a very versatile guitar that'll allow you to do a variety of different styles. Got a lot of balance to the sound. The other hip thing is that if you play gypsy jazz, it works well for that too. I mean, it's got a lot of bark, a lot of projection. So it'll do a variety of different things musically. Let's see what the sound of the Benedetto pickup is like. So there you go, the 30s Gibson round sound hole L4. Keep your eyes open. You may find one out there. If you do, grab it. Until next time, this is Sleeper Jazz Guitars signing off.